Welcome to the YourTown television program. I'm your host, Gerald Vinci, author and owner of Vinci Digital Marketing. Today my guest is Michael Laroco, CEO and founder of INSOT Financial and Health Coaching Centers. So I'd like to welcome Michael to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's just dive into it. Tell me a little bit about your background and how you got started in this industry.
Well, let me tell INSOT. INSOT stands for Infinite Number Solutions Over Time, and we're created for businesses, families, and individuals. I started in the industry when interest rates were at 14%. Yes. And then what happened was I did really well, and at age 26, I became a regional vice president with a major Fortune 100 company. Mm-hmm. And I went, as that went on and progressed, I was interested in more and more about finances. I went to college of financial planning. And then after that, I opened, my clients needed a way to reduce their debt. And at that point, interest rates were at 11%, going down to 9%. And so I figured out a way to do that, and I fell into the mortgage business. And then my financial planning clients, I went back and forth with my financial planning clients and helped them reduce their debt, reposition their money to be able to work harder for them. And then interest rates just kept dropping. And I got so busy in the mortgage business that I was still helping my financial planning clients out, but I couldn't service them in areas I needed to. So what I did is I referred them out. And then 2008 happened. A lot of people got devastated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, everything came to a screeching halt. I had to let go of my my better half. She, I had to terminate her, and I had to terminate my daughter, and I had to reduce the office size, and I had to rethink what I was going to do. And I went back east to Florida, and I sat down with a mentor in the mortgage business, and he goes, Michael, what do you really want to do? And I had this background in financial planning, and I had this background in mortgages. And I said, you know what? I want to create a financial center. And this is one thing that I remember him telling me, and it's probably the best thing I've heard about in business for me, is go do it. And I go, okay, I still get chills off my spine. I'm just thinking about that. So I got on the plane, flying back, and I go, okay, I'm going to create a financial center. Then I started thinking about it and start mapping it out, and I go, oh my goodness, it's going to be huge. I can't do it by myself.
Right.
So I still doing the mortgage business, and then I met somebody who was my business partner. Besides, we have two business partners. One's my mom, she's the president of the company, and my COO, which is Dan Philpott. And I met Dan, and he was in the insurance industry, and we clicked on really well, and that was the missing piece. And so I said, now we can create the financial center. And that's how INSOT was born.
How long have you guys been together in business?
Actually, we started in 2012.
Okay.
We've gone through our trials and tribulations and figuring out exactly how we need to position this. And yeah, 2012. So.
Okay. So today I want to focus mostly on the needs of small business. So you have a mindset or philosophy you like to call PICA.
Yes.
So I wanted you to tell everyone more about that.
Well, PICA works for both businesses, families, and individuals.
Okay.
And so what PICA stands for, protection, income, credit, assets, and health. The 5 areas of people's financial life that people have to think about every time they make a decision. The only problem is most people don't think about those things.
Sure.
Okay. They make a decision in one area and don't understand the effect it could happen in another area. Let me give you a perfect example. Okay. So we had a client that came in that I did a mortgage on, helped them fix up their credit years ago. Okay. Then without me knowing, they went and got stuck in this 2008 refinance mode and refinanced and had a whole bunch of money. And then they used it all. And so they were redoing their mortgage. Actually, they were doing a workout with their lender. And the client came to me and said, Michael, the lender's going to increase my payment by $200. So we got to sell our house. And I said, okay, here's the information you need to do to sell your house. But you know what? Are you moving out of the area? No, my family lives here. I'm not going to move out of the area. I said, okay, Are you quitting your job? No, 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 we're not quitting our job. We just, the $200 payment is just too much, and, we can't live with that. So we got to sell our house. I said, okay, so one more piece of homework. Find out where you're going to live and find out how much it's going to cost. A couple days later, they came back and they said, Michael, my payment's going to be $2,600 a month. My rent payment, if I sell my house and go rent a piece of property. I looked at them and said, no. Remember, 5 principles: protection, income, credit, assets, and health. This affected their assets. This affected their credit. This also affected their income. And they made pretty good income in this area. And so we looked at that and I said, no, because we also did their taxes. I said, it's not going to be $2,600 a month. I said, you're going to lose about $3,600 a month because you're going to lose your tax credit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
By selling your house and renting. At that point, the client goes, you know what? If I went to somebody else in the industry that was going to sell houses, they would have just sold my house. And then this thing that you just told me about would have happened. I said, yeah. That's the reason why we look at the 5 things in a person's life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Building a financial center, essentially, to focus on all of those and not just one piece of it. Because that's been my experience, too. It's, you get all these different pieces of advice from different people who are all telling you, and you don't know which one is right or accurate, or how, focusing on income and not focusing on protection, how is that going to affect things in the long run,
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool. Is this something that you developed internally, or was it?
Yes, it is something I developed internally. And the way I developed it is being in the mortgage business. When I first started in the mortgage business, the person who started me in it, I go, well, how do I do a mortgage? He goes, go talk to these lenders. So I read manuals, and I figured out how to underwrite a file. And I created in that industry what I call SIPE, credit, income, assets, and property. Okay, and if we dissect each one of those areas separately and then bring them all together, we can understand what's going on. But if you dissect each one separately, then you know exactly what that area needs to happen and fix, and you can fix that area, and then go to the next area, and go to the next area, and go to the next. I use that principle in PICA. So we look at all their protection, look at all what's going on with income, we look at everything that's going on with credit, assets, and their health. And then we separate each thing, and then we bring them all together to look at holistically.
That's an undertaking. Yeah, I'm just wrapping my brain around how to do that, because you're going to come up with different solutions or scenarios for each of those pieces, and then when they come together, that all has to kind of change to make sure that everything is covered all at once,
Well, I found out doing mortgages, I know what a person's life financially has been for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and their habits. Same thing with PICA. I know what's going on. It's just information that we get from a client. We know what's going on if you just give us the information. And then you could fix what's going on and know what area may be hurting another area and patch them.
Okay. So in the name of the business, you say Health Coaching Center. So how do you integrate health into financial planning and coaching?
Well, let me tell you how we got there first, because it was just going to be INSOT Financial Coaching Center. Okay, but what happened is everybody has a financial life cycle. Okay, a business has a financial life cycle. Well, at that point in time, which was right around October through November, we were working on Medicare season. Okay, and we were asking seniors what drugs they were taking and the quantities and stuff like that. So we gave them best drug card. Well, what happened is the average senior was taking anywhere between 2 and 10 different medications.
Wow.
Yes. And we were looking at what the medications they were taking, and we go, oh, wow, high blood pressure, oh, diabetes, oh, heart disease, oh, this, all that. And we said, you know what? That's all what happened before they were a senior. All the intake they were doing before, okay? That's how we got in health. And then at that time, and I'm still on the program, well, I found a gout program. I have gout issues, and that was my health issue. And I found a program that would help out with gout, which I could not find. And so that's the reason why we brought that on. It's if we can teach people how to be wealthy, and they're not healthy, they're going to be spending their money on their health.
Yeah.
But if we can teach people how to be wealthy and teach people how to have optimal health, then guess what happens? They become wealthy and healthy.
Yeah, I can't remember what the statistic was, but I was reading something about the cost of medical care for seniors, nowadays with all the medications that they're taking, and it's astronomical, the amount that you have to retire and be comfortable versus in the past.
It used to be $1 million.
Yeah.
And then a quarter of that, $250,000, was going to be used to spent on staying alive. It's amazing.
That is amazing. Yeah. Has that increased, or is that pretty much the statistic as it stands?
Right now, that's the statistic as it stands.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, 25%. That's a lot. So what are some of the, now that you've kind of established the financial coaching part of things, and what are some of the short and long-term goals for INSOT?
One of the short-term goals is get the word out.
Yeah.
Let people understand what we do. So there's 3 things that we do for clients. So what we do is we sit down with them, we figure out what they want to do, what are their goals. Not what their money can do for them, is what are their goals. Because guess what? You can make more money,
Yeah.
okay, to meet those goals. What are your goals? What are your ambitions? What do you want? Okay? And then, what is standing in your way? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
What's holding you back from getting that? And it could be what you learned when you were 7 years old or 5 years old. No, 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 no. Well, we help you get through those blocks. And then guess what we do? What we do is we teach people the money game, and we teach people the rules in the 5 areas: protection, income, credit, assets, and health, and how it works for them, and how when they go in one area, how it can affect the other area. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Do you find today there's more of a struggle with, I guess, proper planning and setup of business than in the past, because there's so many home-based businesses and solopreneurs, and it just seems like there's just everybody has a business now. Like, does that pose more of a challenge for you?
Actually, that is extremely fun.
Yeah.
Yes, because what we found out is a lot of business owners don't know what to do. They know their gift. They know how to make money, but they don't know what to do when they get the money.
Yeah.
Okay? And a lot of people don't know the rules. One of the first rules is the income rule. Okay? Even if you have no income, you need to know the income rule. Why? It's because when you get there, you want to make sure that you're prepared for the income rule and the tax rule, so that you're not giving more money to Uncle Sam, and you're not commingling your money in your business.
That makes sense. Yeah, I would think planning is probably the number one thing that people lack, for sure. It's just so easy to start a business nowadays. That I think people don't give it a second thought until they need to.
And people think, oh my gosh, I got to make a whole bunch of money in order to send all this money stuff that Michael's talking about. No, you don't. All you got to do is spend an hour and a half with us. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about where you want to go. Let's talk about what you're doing. And let's just work a plan. And then continue going as you grow. Because guess what? If you don't work your plan, that non-plan about money can screw you up. Perfect example. I have a client that we're working on that we weren't in their life at the time, didn't think about that. Then they started making money. Then the IRS started going after them. Well, if they had all it set up correctly, that would have never happened.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. We're almost out of time, so I just want to grab a couple. I know, this goes fast.
It goes fast.
So let's just jump to some questions here. So what's some of the best business advice you ever received?
What are the one thing that I told you about?
Yeah.
Is go do it.
It.
That's what you want, Michael? Go build it.
Yeah.
That was probably the best business advice. Now, thinking about it afterwards, figuring out how to do it, which is an exciting thing.
Yeah. Mine was one of my coworkers, the first job I ever had. He said, what gets measured gets managed. So for me, it's always been something that sticks with me. I'm constantly thinking about the details and making sure that I have all my I's dotted and my T's crossed, So if you could provide just an important tip for small business owners today, what would be the one thing you'd want to tell them?
Start talking to the people that they know that can at least get them in the right position, so when they start making money, they know what to do with the money. And proper documentation is extremely important. You know, our country was made up of businesses. Okay? Structure your business correctly so that you could take advantage of everything that you have there, versus giving the money that you don't need to give to the government that loves us.
Yeah. That's funny. So how about individuals? I mean, I've been talking a lot about businesses. I mean, we're almost out of time, but real quick, just how do individuals utilize PICA more than a business would?
Actually, the same way.
Yeah.
With businesses, there's a little more things to think about. With an individual, same stuff. They have to understand protection, income, credit, and assets. Why do we say protection first? Because if you don't protect your income, credit, assets, and health, it all goes away.
Yeah.
So protect first. And then if something, God forbid, ever happens in any one of these arenas, you're protected. Okay? Same with businesses, same with individuals. It's just that with businesses, there may be a little more nuances than with individuals.
Okay. All right. So if you want to tell us how we can learn more about you and INSOT?
Well, we're working on a great website. It's
Yeah.
going to be actually, we have the website. It's www.inosot.com.
All right.
Our phone number is 831-449-6800, and my extension is 101, and my business partner, Daniel, is 102.
Okay. And you guys are located in Salinas?
We're
correct?
located in Salinas, but guess what?
What?
We travel California.
Yeah, you guys are always on the road.
We're always on
Yeah,
the road.
social butterflies.
Social. And the goal is to expand across the United States with our concept.
Yeah. Do you have other branches or anything that you're looking
No,
at?
but we're working on
Yeah.
it.
Cool.
Yep.
Very cool. All right, Michael. Well, thanks for your time. I appreciate you coming in.
We're done?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
this
we're
was
done.
exciting. Thank
Yeah.
you so much
Yeah.
for inviting
No,
me.
absolutely. Anytime.
Okay.
So you've been watching the YourTown television program. I'm your host, Gerald Vinci. You can tune in to AMP Channel 27 or visit yourtown.tv to catch some additional episodes. Thanks for watching.